Welcome back to my channel, guys. I'm so glad you all are here. So today we're doing another film review. This time it's not a trailer review, it's a film review of the actual film. This film obviously is like a bittersweet film to watch. And as you can see by the title, it's the film that just came out on Netflix yesterday. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And we all know it's a bittersweet film because this is Chadwick Boseman's last film appearance. He passed away during post-production. And yeah, it's bittersweet. It was bittersweet to watch, but you know, let's just get into it. I don't want this video to be long. I'm just giving my thoughts on the film. This is not like a critique of the film from like a film critique standpoint or anything like that. This is just as a pure consumer watching the film, my feelings, my thoughts, what I liked about it, all that in a bag of chips. So when you guys watch it, or maybe you can use this review to determine whether or not this is something you want to watch, or if you've already watched it, if you agree with some of my sentiments and whatnot. The premise of this film is basically set in the 1920s, and it's based off of a play. And at first, when I first watched it, I didn't know it was based off of a play. But as I was watching it, I'm just like, this seems like it could have been a play. This seems like it could have been a play just by the amount of dialogue and all that stuff. So I looked it up, and obviously, sure enough, I was correct. The play is called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, written by August Wilson. And they have some heavy hitters in this film, obviously starring Viola Davis, Chadwick Boseman, produced by Denzel Washington. Like I said, it was set in the 1920s, based off of Chicago jazz singer the mother of jazz, and which is played by Viola Davis's character. Let me get into the acting first off, okay? So films like this that are often adaptations of plays tend to be more dialogue heavy, and so it depends on what type of film you like. Some might find that intriguing, some might not really like that because, you know, it's very dialogue heavy, and the film is pushed forward with dialogue versus the film being pushed forward with action, you know. So but I love it because I feel like this type of film is like a true artist passion project to work on something like this. I think this is a very fitting film for Chadwick Boseman's last film because it really showed his craftsmanship. It really showed him as an artist. It really showed how great of an actor, how great of a performer, how great of a storyteller Chadwick Boseman is. So basically the film is about Ma and her band. They're going to a recording session, and it's just kind of showing the tension between the band members as they're waiting down in the rehearsal room for Ma to come. And when Ma finally arrives, you see the tension amongst the band members and Ma and her manager, who happens to be a white man, and, you know, getting their payment and all that stuff. And then one of the band members, Levy, who is played by Chadwick Boseman, also has his eye on Ma's girlfriend, who she brought with her to the recording session. So there's also that dynamic there, and all that going on. It's a very interesting film because it's very minimalist in terms of action. Like, it's literally just showing the tension of the band members and the tension between Ma and her managers. That's literally the premise of the film. But because there's just it's so nuanced, like the conversations, the dialogue, the monologues, the sharing of stories, the sharing of hurt, especially with Levy's character. that's what it makes it very intense. There's a lot of really deep emotional moments. And I don't want to give away too much. Obviously you guys I would want you guys to go and watch it, but there's a lot of realness, a lot of rawness. There's one part in the scene where Levy's character, Chadwick Boseman's character, is coming at another band member for his belief in God, and how he shares why God isn't real, and he's basically cursing out God, and because of his past trauma with his mother and all that stuff. And guys, when I say the performances in this film, especially with Viola Davis. Viola Davis is a brilliant actress. Every role that she's in, she embodies that role. There's some actors, like, you literally see the same person in every single film that they're in. Like, there's no distinction. Viola Davis, she embodied that role. She embodied the role of Ma. And just to see her in that role, playing that rough and rugged mother of blues character, and just even when it goes with the makeup, the way that she speaks to her band members, the way that she speaks to her manager. And again, because a lot of it is very dialogue heavy, there's a lot of monologues in here, which you don't really see in films nowadays. You don't see monologues, and this is obviously a fact that this is a play adaptation, so that's why it was just very, very, very this is like I feel like this is like an actor's film. This is like a filmmaker's film, if that makes sense. There's just so much to learn in this film from a filmmaker's point of view. And then there's just so much to learn and take in from this film, even from a consumer's point of view. There's so much history, there's so much rich history in this film. Now the film, I love how it starts off. If we're gonna go back to how it starts off with, you see two young men running in the forest, and obviously you could tell that it's back in the day. So automatically your brain goes to, oh my God, runaway slaves, because you hear dogs barking in the background and whatnot. You're just like, oh my God, this is what, another slave movie, another runaway slave movie. But then you see them, they're not actually running away. They're two young men running to go line up for Ma's show. And I just loved how that transition, and I was already hooked from the beginning. So films that can hook me within the first like 10 seconds, I'm already like in it. Because if you know me, I have a short attention span. But this film hooked me from the beginning. And from the beginning, it was already on go. Like the film started off with a performance from Ma, and it started off showing the dynamic of the band when you saw Chadwick Boseman's character and Ma's girlfriend, having their little eye contact moment, and then Ma clocking it and trying to like stop it while she's on stage. It was just really good. It was really good. The costuming, the set design was also very visually appealing. The film was very bright. It was very eye-catching. There's a lot of contrasting colors. There's a lot of things that just pulled your eye to it. And I think that was very intentional, because they know a film like this is so dialogue heavy, people can tend to tune out. So they had to make sure that the costuming, that the scene, that the set design was all very visually stimulating, and they did that perfectly. Even for a film that's dialogue heavy, I think they still did a good job of incorporating, when they obviously adapted it to a screenplay, incorporating a good amount of action in it. And also with, the camera angling, making sure that shots weren't too stagnant. Like there was a lot of panning, a lot of movement, and a lot of all that stuff. So they were able to keep you engaged in the conversation they were able to keep me into what was going on. So I love that. And again, going back to Chadwick Boseman, I think this is a very fitting last film of his, because like I said, a film like this really, I feel as an actor, speaking from an actor's perspective, a film like this really pushes you. It really causes you to dig deep. It really causes you to tap into what you're saying, because you can't really rely on action now to convey a message or to push the plot further. It's based off basically all what you're saying in your delivery, and everything is in what you say and how you convey it on your face and everything. So a lot of work, I can just imagine, went into this, and that was what Chadwick Boseman was about. He was about his art, he was about his craft. And just watching a lot of interviews with him and what a lot of fellow actors said about him, they said he was very disciplined in his work. And you can really see that in this film. You could tell, in this film, like, he was much slimmer, much more slender than, for example, him in like Black Panther. You could tell like he was a much more slender guy. And now looking back, we could see that while he was shooting this film, he was also dealing with his illness. And just to think that this man is dealing with the illness he was going through, plus all the work that he had to put into prepare for this role. I'm just like, my mind is blown at how great of an artist this man was. And so that's why I said watching this film was so bittersweet, because it was great to see that this was his last film, because I feel like it was a real true to his nature as an artist. But it's so sad, because it's like, damn, like one of the greats, it took one of the greats, and that's why it was such a hard film to watch at the same time. But it was so lovely to see Viola Davis do what Viola Davis does. Like, she's an amazing artist. God, one day I want to star alongside Viola Davis, in Jesus' name. That's my prayer. I want her to mentor me, like, that's my prayer. But yeah, she killed that role. She embodied that role, just even from down to the walk, down to the talk. Knowing Viola Davis, I know she did the research to get the essence of who Ma really was. And she killed it. She killed it. And it also makes sense that Denzel Washington was one of the producers of this film. And that he would get Viola Davis, because Viola Davis and Denzel Washington, obviously they did Fences together, and that was another play adaptation film, very dialogue driven, dialogue heavy film. So it makes sense to be like, yeah, Viola Davis can do this. She can do this. She puts in the work. So yeah, hats off to everyone that worked on this film. It's on Netflix right now. Like I said, it came out yesterday, December the 18th on Netflix. So it's there for you to watch. Take that in. I would love to know your thoughts. If you guys watched it, if you watched it already, let me know what you thought of the film. What you liked, what you didn't like. Honestly, there wasn't much that I didn't like about the film, to be honest. Again, the only thing is that it's very dialogue heavy, so sometimes you might tune out, but they did a very good job of switching it up to get back your attention again. That's the only thing. But yeah, I would love to know what you liked, what you didn't like, if you watched it, if you plan on watching it. The ending of the film is also very interesting as well. I don't want to give it away. It's something that I wasn't really expecting. So guys, go ahead and watch it. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, a like. Make sure to subscribe. Yeah, we need to get this on and popping. And if you haven't seen any of my other previous videos, make sure to go hit them up. My previous film reviews, or even my previous, finance videos. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time, darling.